I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been successful in life?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Well, at least I'm back. You guys were like kind of here last week. The British fans got waterboarded about the best way that I can describe what they had to go through last week. And then to cap it off the way that they did, whew, hilarious. Anyway, I was gone for a while, exploring the world. Get outside, folks. Touch some grass. Exactly.
Man's red.
Good for you.
The man is red.
You don't really, at least I didn't really miss a whole lot while I was gone. And I didn't watch a whole lot either. So it speaks to what we got going on for the most part. 3 of us tonight. All mics are working. The sound is coming through for now. Shaun, how you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. Yeah, it was a rough. I mean, we I think we were out of commission for about 3 straight events because of children and terrible UFC fights. But we get
bring the people back together.
Something like that. This on paper wasn't the worst pay-per-view, and then this week we have a pretty good ABC card. So these are the things that we get excited about in 2024. UFC just bringing them bangers.
I was gonna say I looked at this card for the first time today.
Yep.
Full transparency for our 7 listeners, and I thought this doesn't suck, which I don't think about all that many cards these days. So, we got some stuff to look forward to. Is it at a early time for us? It has to be, right? Like they're not going to make you don't make Abu Dhabi do what you make London do.
No, you see some Bonesaws in your future, motherfucker.
Wes, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, it's good to be back talking some fights. It looks like a fun card coming up. We've been enjoying the afternoon funny sports going on. Always enjoy those and betting those. I'm actually pretty diehard Olympics guy for a couple decades now. I actually really like that stuff, and got the track and field still to go. The swimming's all been fun, and all the other crazy stuff. But yeah, we've been cashing some tickets middle of the afternoon over here. I think some guys are sleeping. Brad's not. I'm not. So we're catching some swimming tickets in real time. Some rowing tickets, some kayaking tickets and shit. So, I mean, how is there anything better than for a straight degenerate gambler than like betting on shit like that in the middle of the day? Like, come on, man. I mean, maybe Aussie tennis in the middle of the night is about the only thing that gets about as fun as betting like handball at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Olympics are fun, man. I love it. I don't have the capacity to care about all these sports all throughout the year. I care about lacrosse.
We got lacrosse going on,
MMA to some extent, and then some like hockey, but mostly just betting related. I don't want to care about more stuff. So give me 2-3 weeks every 4 years, or every 2 years, I guess. When it's on in the middle of the day, that is perfect. Love it. The Tokyo ones, those were a struggle. I can't do the overnight shit like I used to be able to. But this one's good. The next one's in LA. That should be fun too. But
Yeah, that should be fun watching some of these like soccer people like get shot when they start throwing chairs at an outdoor restaurant. Like it can get wild in LA here in 4 years. You better fucking bet your ass on that. Should be good.
America, put your best foot forward.
Sure.
By that I mean
that's
just like build a big fence around all of the. I was gonna say build it all around all the venues, but like they've got shit going on in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have it in all, and you're all gonna host some of it, and ain't that? No, that's the
World Cup.
That's World Cup. Yeah, that's World Cup where they split.
Yeah,
it.
World Cup's all over the place.
Well, they gotta split some of that shit out. I mean,
but yeah, I've been very much enjoying the canoeing and the kayaking, like the slalom. That's a fun one to watch. But apparently the closest facility that is Olympic caliber is in Oklahoma City, or like somewhere in Oklahoma.
Wow.
So that event for the LA Olympics will be held in Oklahoma.
Well, they're going to learn all about multiple earthquakes a day. If you ever thought that couldn't happen, because Oklahoma has like hundreds of fucking mini earthquakes every
softball and canoe slalom.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, softball, like
that will be in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma holds like big softball tournaments and shit, something like that. Like
big it does the Women's World Series.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and other like big softball tournaments, like pro travel softball tournament, shit like that.
But like the Paris Olympics have surfing going on in French Polynesia.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, some things are just limited by the.
You
the
can't.
fucking...
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can barely swim in the river. You know what I'm saying? Like, they definitely can't. You can't be stirring up water like that. You know, trying to. Like that's fuck. They spent $1.5 billion to get their river cleaned up,
river,
and then it rains. It rains for like a week, and it's all full of E. coli again. Like, holy shit.
Yep. Anyway, in the neighbor to France, jolly old England, there was a card last week. I said it was London. It's Manchester. Whatever. It's all the same. I'm sure the soccer people, football people will really appreciate a statement like that.
It's never coming home, people, no matter.
But we had a pay-per-view, allegedly 2 belts on the line. There were 2 of them handed out on the evening. How real one of them is, under debate. 14 fights.
Yeah.
Can you imagine hating your fans so much that you book a 14 fight card to end at like 7 a.m., 6 a.m.? Is that what it is?
Belal Muhammad.
Belal Muhammad and who Edwards fucking capping it off.
So didn't watch any of this card. Not going to watch any of this card. You guys are going to have to carry the weight on that. Was Belal becoming the UFC champion everything that I'm imagining that fight would be with that result?
I mean, it's perfect because, like, I obviously don't want it to happen, but if it was going to happen, this is probably the best way for him to do it, by beating Edwards in fucking England at fucking 6 a.m. and doing it as boring as only Belal Muhammad can. I mean, he looked better on the feet, and it's just pressure, man. It's his technique obviously has got better just because it was so bad. But it's really just his pressure and being able to make dudes back up and lift up their hands, and he'll take you down and he will lay on you.
Yeah, hey, look, I'll give Belal a little bit of credit here, to where he stood for good amounts of time with Leon Edwards and jacked his jaw up. Like, he landed all the big shit in that fight.
Edwards looked horrible.
I mean, he did, but I mean, I think that was a lot of Belal. Belal had him so scared of a takedown, which me and Shaun, that's why we bet him. It's why we liked him, because we knew Leon, like, in every fight, like Usman did it to him. He can be taken down. He can be held up against the cage like Belal was going to do. But I'll give Belal credit. He stood at a little distance at times in that fight, threw strikes with Leon Edwards, and won those battles, won literally every one of those battles. Belal, I mean, he's not got the best style. We all know that, but man, he's fucking tough. That guy can beat a lot of these dudes, but there's gonna be one guy coming up that I'm gonna tell you that shit ain't gonna work against, because the old shave cat is like not that guy. I think Bilal's gonna find a dude that does like everything he does, but just like levels better, and it's gonna be almost it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a shit king. But yeah, to watch Belal beat Leon in fucking over there in England at 6:30 a.m. There's people literally passed out and asleep in chairs and shit, and they're like panning the crowd and trying to get off of them quick. They start fighting at like 7 in the morning, of course, because they quit. Could you imagine even going to these fights if you're over there? They quit serving beer at 2 a.m. So you had to sit there for 4.5 hours. And imagine how drunk, like all of us, but English too, in particular, are getting shit-faced before that and during that event, and then having to stop at 2 a.m. and sit there for 4.5 more hours. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here.
How much cocaine do you think was
before the card was over?
How much cocaine do you think was lifted there just to stay awake in the middle of the fucking night watching this dreadful shit? But
I mean, at least you got the, you know, though Tommy Aspinall, who we'll talk about, to get you livened up. But then like that happens, and then Belal happens. It's like, fuck, man, it's 7-8. No wonder a big fight broke out like right at the end of the fights, dude. They're scrapping all in the front row and shit. Yeah, funny shit.
Yeah, so that happened. I mean, we said Belal doesn't have the most interesting style, which very true. Neither does Leon. So it's not like we were getting some great action champion out of Leon Edwards either.
He gets one head kick.
The one, exactly.
After getting dominated for like minutes of his life.
Yep.
Belal it over 2-1 was just wild here to me.
I didn't bet that. I only bet one thing on this card. No, two things. Sorry. But one of them was not the co-main event, where Tom Aspinall retained the interim heavyweight title. Very important distinction. And fuck Curtis Blades shit up, essentially, right?
Yeah. Blades is good. He's just not great. He's good enough to beat most heavyweights, and then he gets to a point where he doesn't have enough power. And at heavyweight, you need power, because Aspinall got hit a couple times, but it doesn't fucking matter because he just throws absolute fucking heat back. And at heavyweight, your chin's not going to hold up. Same thing kind of happened with Pavlovich. Blades was hitting him, and it wasn't doing much. And then Pavlovich hits him, and then it's over.
What is that?
I think so too. We are such a sweet couple.
We are.
Hi from hello from Canada.
Yeah, John Jones. It's obviously, we've talked about this. This is so fucking dumb that he is fighting Stipe, especially after what Aspinall's been doing. Just, I really hope Stipe just like hurts himself, and so the fight never happens, and then we'll just make the Aspinall fight.
Make him decide.
Retire or fight Aspinall. Those are the options that I want.
Yeah. As long, like, the worst thing that could happen would be Stipe somehow winning that fight. Because then he would fight Aspinall probably in like another 3 years when he's 8,000 years old and probably die.
There's a good chance that John could win that fight and get hurt himself, though. Like, he's had like some injury problems and shit now too. But
I mean, if he wins the fight, it doesn't matter because he's not fighting again.
Yeah, he ain't. It's not happening. It is not happening. Yeah, Sean's right too. Like the thing with Blaze 2 not having power, especially in this fight, is he lands a couple shots and then gets brave. You know, it's like even he set up to fight. I cracked him a couple times. Yeah, dummy, that was your problem because then you got
So
then you
did
got
Pavlovich, and he didn't put him down.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Sean's right about like Blades is like very good, but if he can't get his game plan on you, which is to wrestle and grind till he can just overwhelm you, you got to have some power at heavyweight, man. Like Aspinall is legit. Like I am not underestimating this guy anymore. I've been looking at angles to beat him over and over and over, and I think it's time to just say that the guy's fucking very good, man. Like his hand speed, he's got a jaw. We've seen that tested already multiple times. Now, say what you will about Blades' power. He's still 265-pound man.
I mean, Pavlovich hit him.
Pavlovich nailed him like multiple times. Like Aspinall is legit. The fucking guy is very good in a division that's not very good anymore. He's the king dog. And look, like if John Jones was at heavyweight and jacked up and bulked up like he did, like he is now, like 10 years ago, he's fucking light years ahead of Tom Aspinall. Like that ain't 10 years ago, though. This is a different time. John Jones is a much older man with all those miles on him and shit. Like, if that fight does happen, like the line they open, I think Bet Online opened it like even, like a pick 'em pretty much. Like, I'm probably betting Tommy Aspinall pretty fucking big in that fight. Like, I don't think Jones is that guy anymore, especially up at heavyweight injuries now. Like he had a severe injury, man, like a torn pec and shit. Like that stuff is not like small injuries. I think it's a bad fight for John Jones at this point in his career, but we're never going to see it. John is like very, very smart about his legacy, and he's very like conceited and wants to keep that legacy forever. He knows he's not.
I know, but at this point, it's everybody knows he's ducking if he doesn't fight Aspinall.
But like, I don't get that. Like, well, so what if he ducks him? Why is that a stain on him that like, I'm almost 40 years old. Why should I have to fight the heavyweight champion?
Then drop the belt though.
Well, yeah, I get that.
You don't get to keep the belt then.
He's not the heavyweight champ. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the world. See, I'm not like that, like crazy on John Jones, and I can't be like Tom Aspinall's the heavyweight champ. John's never fighting him. Like we know who the heavyweight champ is, but I don't agree with like people that are like, oh, well, he'll duck him and that looks bad on John Jones' career and shit. Like, why does it look like bad on his?
Has one of the top 3 MMA careers ever.
Yeah, he had one of the greatest runs that you could ever imagine. And like, if so, what he ducks the heavyweight champion of the world as a lifelong 205er at 38 years old. Like, get the fuck out of here with that kind of shit. But like, yeah, he's gonna duck Tommy Aspinall. He ain't fighting that guy at this point. There's no way. But props to Aspinall, man. That guy is absolutely legit, man. It's time we put some respect on that dude.
Yes, sir. Rest of the main cards: Paddy Pimblett, first round triangle over Bobby Green. Sounds absolutely hilarious. Hobocop.
Should have been.
Hobocop actually grapple? Like the programming was switched on.
He didn't even, he did grapple, but he was also smacking him around on the fucking feet too.
Of course he was. It's Hobocop. And then to kick off the main card, Arnold Allen somehow survives the Giga Kick and wins it. It's a miracle. I was told that kick is absolutely debilitating for anybody that it comes in contact with. Shaun, main card thoughts.
Main card thoughts. Yeah, Bobby Green as the consensus bet. Just elite play there. Patty keeps taking my money, and I guess we'll see who he fights next. I mean, he did this one. This one was legit. Bobby Green's kind of a moron for shooting because I'm pretty sure I said it on the podcast last week. I was like, I don't think Bobby Green, like, I don't think he's subbing Bobby Green. And then Bobby Green just serves up his neck and his arm on a bit of a platter. But that's the way she goes. It's awesome having kind of a throwback Brazilian like Hobocop. He'll fucking brawl it out. He's also really pretty good at wrestling. He's a very, very good grappler. And he throws down. Sometimes he gets caught. Other times he knocks some fools out. And he's only 32. He looks like he's like 45, but he's only 32 at middleweight. That's
how you know he's a badass Brazilian. That's how you know 32 looking 45. That's
yes, sir. So he's a dude to cheer for.
I thought we said in the chat that Hobocop was consensus. You guys changed it to Bobby Green?
Yeah.
We changed it to Bobby Green. Okay, I see what's going on here.
We messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, BMR. You're right.
Bobby Green literally
that last one's the tough one.
Yeah, that
guy's got elite powers.
Bobby Green is like the poster child for urinal cake. Like, can you like this dude jumping right? That's still like, I was so mad than just laughing when dude gets choked just unconscious, the ref's not doing nothing, and he's just
his arm twisted.
And he's just snapping Bobby's arm at the same time. Then I was just like, good, Bobby, good. You fucking deserve it. If there's one dude. Hey man, Hobocop's a problem, right? Like we used to worry about the chin a little bit. He had the one, man, he's taking some shots.
We didn't know he was fighting a superhero at the time. So
exactly. That chin's holding up, man.
Since that Ferreira fight, he's been grappling a lot more and a lot smarter for the most part.
He threw down.
It's doing well.
He can wrestle a bit too.
Oh yeah,
he's one of those Brazilians that can go get a takedown when he wants a takedown, man. Yeah, my dumbass bet Giga at some dog money. He won the fucking first round and then ran like a fucking track star. He was like, hey, Olympics is right over there. I'm gonna get ready, and just took off running, bro, and gave up 2 rounds. So is Arnold Allen back after that, or?
I think he's still all right. I mean, he lost to fucking.
Was he ever gone? Yeah.
Yeah,
I know he lost.
He had a 2-fight streak, and he lost to Max. Like
I know. I don't think that was some like great performance. He lost a round at Giga, and then like dude ran.
Like I'm guilty of it. Giga was decent in the first round. Like I mean,
he was very good. He fucking it wasn't no like close like it was
losing to Giga in the first round losing the first round to Giga isn't as bad as what it probably is. Like it's
Giga's a good striker. He's just
when this is on the feet, like he's good.
Yep. Azuma, I cannot make out what Patty Pimblett says at any time. I think he's usually talking about hot dogs or something. I don't know. It's weird. Prelims. Nathaniel Wood, unanimous decision over Daniel Pineda. Bruna Brazil, unanimous decision over Meatbally.
Woo.
Jake Hadley, unanimous decision over Howlin' Horan. Nailed it. The Mook, unanimous decision that I didn't love. This was the other thing that I bet in addition to Hobocop over Manel Cap. I did actually watch this fight because it was on TV and I had that on for some reason. Oban Elliott, unanimous decision over Preston Parsons. We'll go through those, all the decisions.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of them in a row.
Yes.
Quick.
If there's anything you have to say on any of those, speak now.
They tried to get Meatball Molly a fucking dub, and he got 30-27 on 2 of the judges' scorecards.
That's awesome. I love it.
And then that Mukaev Cap fight was it was terrible to watch after the build-up, and literally neither of them want to do anything. It's another fight where Mukaev should have lost. If the guy that was fighting him could throw a couple more strikes, he probably wins.
Yep.
And now we don't get to fade him.
27 was
that was bad.
Yeah.
That's
so
very bad.
obviously that's why I didn't watch anything else, because I watched that fight. It was dog shit, and I was like, I don't know. I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I was done.
And they're pissed at Mukiev. They're not re-signing him. I guess he's going to Bellator because PFL doesn't even have a fucking 25 division or 35. So like,
Go to
I don't
Rizin
know.
instead. Fight
Do
like
something.
Horiguchi or something.
At least I can stop losing money betting against him, which is good.
Yeah. And it never feels like a bad bet when you lose money betting against him.
It's a frustrating bet.
Oh, it's very frustrating. But like you're not like, oh man, that was a shitty bet. I shouldn't have made that bet. It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
like
It's right
Perez-
there.
more punches.
Perez had him. Perez had him. I think
The Perez one was inexcusable. Like you pancaked
I think
him
Cobb
4
gets
minutes
him.
of the round and didn't throw a fucking punch.
I think Cobb gets him if he doesn't like dislocate his toe or whatever
was
he did
shitty.
his toe, because he was like completely different after that. Like he couldn't
Couldn't
couldn't even hold his ground and stuff right and throw his kicks and stuff right. He looked great in the first round. That was an atrocious like decision. Like he won that first round. That was insane. And like
I thought he won
Look,
the first
man,
third. I had a bet on him, so
they like if you want to like not re-sign this guy or like cut him, whatever you want to call it, do it for him like setting old boy up and sucker punching him in the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Do it for them having to have like security up until like look, the ref was telling the last security guard to get out. He's not wanting to leave the cage before the fight starts because he thinks this dude's going to run across. Like they're about to fight, and then they don't fight. Then they just look at each other for like half of the first round. Like cutting for like that shit. Don't. I just they cut like an undefeated prospect. They give bullshit reasons. Just like say we make this shit up as we go along. We do whatever the fuck we want. You talk some shit. We're gonna. That's all he did. He talked some shit, and they're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, shitty fight. I think Kape beats that guy, and like Shaun's right. I don't know if we're not gonna get a chance to fade him anymore, or we're gonna save some money with him gone because the past two been tough. And my favorite part of the entire card is I got fucking meatball again, motherfuckers. Plus 300. I got her again. I knew that shit. Dan Hardy's chick coming through. Plus 300. Meatball is absolutely terrible.
That's not Dan Hardy's chick. Isn't Dan Hardy's?
I thought that's his chick. Oh no, it's another Brazilian chick, right?
Veronica Hardy, which was Veronica Macedo.
See, I mix them up. They look the same, right? Don't they look similar? I'm pretty sure they look
she like
similar.
Colombian or something, not Brazilian. Veronica.
Oh man,
Oh, she's Venezuelan. Sorry,
I'm way off. That's it.
that moon rock. That
all
moon
the
rock
moon
will get
rock.
you.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bo went to that Venezuelan place that I was. It's a brewery, but Venezuelan restaurant. I hope he enjoyed if he did. Anyway, the rest of UFC 304, the Modest Bukkake, arm triangle over Marcin Prachnio in the third. That felt like a throwback to some old Marcin Prachnio in terms of the way that he was going to lose that fight. Sam Patterson, who is like, the proportions are all wrong. He's the wrong shape.
Not for choking.
I don't like it. But he also got an arm triangle choke in the first round against something called Kiefer Crosby. Mick Parkin, first round TKO over Lucas Brzeski. And Shauna Bannon, split decision over Alice Ardeline.
I'll say disgusted at old Mick for being in a shitty heavyweight fight, knocking a guy out in the first round. That just wasn't even right. Modest Bukkake, man, if I'd have lost fight inside there, I was gonna lose my mind. Oh, the old Bukkake literally got rocked so many times, dude. And then, like Brad said, it was like vintage Prachnio. Fucking vintage. Has a dude hurt multiple times and then ends up getting tapped the fuck out. Great fight.
Anything, Shaun?
No.
Good. Wonderful.
No.
That was UFC 304. The Brits lose again. It's rough. It's hard out there in those streets. Yeah. So moving on. This weekend, Abu Dhabi. I wonder what the event fee was for this one. It's
20
not
mil.
like Sphere territory, but sure the UFC's getting Riyadh season Noche UFC. Sorry, MBS. Don't none of please. We're good. I called it the right thing. Because clearly nothing says Noche UFC like Riyadh. Anyway, we'll get to that sometime in October, I think, is when that's happening. This weekend, Abu Dhabi. And we get all the guys who can't get into the States or like, real country. Not just like the oil city state country. But yeah, it's not a bad card. It's on ABC. It's going to be on in the afternoon. I'll probably flip back and forth from some Olympics to some fights up at the cottage. So yeah, we'll maybe tune in for some of this. Corey Sandhagen, Umar. We get all of the stupid the Umar things, like Lance does the Rory thing for golf for some reason. I don't get it. At least Umar's close to Omar. So like I kind of get that one. The Rory one, don't get that one. We'll have to talk to Lance about that. Anyway, Umar is getting his first real test. And that should be a very good main event in a very good bantamweight division. Then there's some dumb stuff in the co-main event, and then some more good stuff on the main card, and then some sad stuff. We'll get to it all. We're going to kick it off first in the middleweight division, the dumbest of all the divisions, with the dumbass himself, Cedriquez, taking on Dennis Talulu. Shaun? I don't care what order you're looking at. I'm just on.
This is the correct order. Why the fuck is Talulu in the UFC?
Everybody wants to fight.
I know, but like he's still
Except
making
Mukiev.
he's still making more money than what they can replace with the warm body that's coming off Contender Series. But he's lost 3 straight fights, all by finish. He's lost 3 of 4. He's lost every fight by finish.
That's good.
It's an interesting one. An interesting one. He could win here. Dumbass is terrible. The surprising thing is under 1.5 is like plus 145.
Mm-hmm.
These guys finish people or get finished like all the time. They're probably gonna stand and bang, and somebody's gonna get knocked the fuck out. So I think I'm gonna fucking throw some money on the under 1.5 in the very first fight of the night, and I guess it'll be the dumbass.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, I lean dumbass winning, but we call him dumbass for a reason. And like, if you're laying 220 on this guy, minus 220, like you're kind of a dumbass. It's dog or pass for sure, but I'm with Shaun here, and I like the 2.5 minus 155 at bet 365. 1.5 is probably good because they're gonna throw down, like somebody's getting finished here, but I'm gonna lay the juice on the 2.5. I do not see these dudes going 15 minutes whatsoever, so I'll take some of that. I'm gonna pick Talulu and Toutmaster for sure. I don't see how you lay this kind of price on old dumbass, because he's very fucking dumb.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was coming off of the loss to the turtleneck guy, Fremd, where he was dumbass was finally an underdog. Yes, and he was an underdog there, and I was like, he's fighting Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage really sucks, and I was going to bet him, and I did bet him. And then he made me sweat my absolute nutsack off for him to win a fight that should have been so easy. And I was just like, no, never again. And luckily, since then, he's been like a minus 200 favorite or fighting an actual good fighter that I had no reason to bet him against. But Now he's a minus 200 favorite and fighting a really bad fighter. So like I've got that dilemma of he's firmly in Bobby Green territory where you can't bet him when he's got a minus beside his name. But is this guy that he's fighting so bad that he might still pull it off? Or is he going to dive into the equivalent of triangle in this one, which would probably just be getting punched in the face a lot? I don't know. I kind of like that under look because I think it's just going to be a car crash. And I have given up on Toutmaster because I was out of internet service for like 2 weeks. I would pick the Tululu in Toutmaster. Not that it matters. For me, at least, it matters in the grand scheme of things. Quite a big price at stake. Lightweight division up next. Rolando Bedoya taking on one of my favorite spots when they just had the card in like your home country or hometown, but they're like, no, we're going to make you fly halfway across the world next week to go fight in Abu Dhabi instead. It's Jai Herbert, ladies and gentlemen.
We got a Peruvian taking on a fucking Englishman when we just had a card in Manchester and we're flying these guys to Abu Dhabi. I don't get it. It's not like Jai Herbert had a scheduled fight and then it dropped out and they pushed it. This has been scheduled, it seems like, the whole time. Jai Herbert is not good, and he is a 36-year-old lightweight. It's not the greatest combination. I don't think Bedoya is good, but I'd probably still pick him in Toutmaster because he's not Jai Herbert.
Yeah, like never a good look when they pull that one on you. They're like, no, next week. Not in England. Wesley.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't. Bedoya is not very good though. Like his whole game is just kind of like to be tough and try to put a little pressure on you. Don't just throw some arm punches. Shit, he doesn't have very good technique. He doesn't do anything very good at all. I mean, Herbert's the far better striker here and shit. Like all he's got to do is land some clean shots on this guy and keep his fucking back off the cage, and he could absolutely win a fight here. I don't know. There's some minus 130 on old Jai out there, and it's kind of hard not to take some of that against the guy. I think he's better than I don't think much of Herbert, and I get it. He's 36. Brad's right too. Like, you don't fight at home. They fly you to Abu Dhabi. Maybe they just think something of you. They're giving you the trip to Abu Dhabi. You don't have to fucking fight at 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning in England. Maybe they think something of Jai here, giving him a little break. Yeah, I just think he's a better dude here. Minus 130 at Caesars. Maybe. I'm going to think about it. Jai's the pick for me. I just think he's a better guy. He can win a striking battle. He's just got to land some clean shots. I think he's a cleaner striker.
I mean, Jai's kind of light, so maybe the shakes are all like, yeah, one of us. Bring him over. Come on. Nobody told him that his nickname's the Black Country Banger. Whoops. Anyway,
oh man,
I hear what Wes is saying with him being the better striker, and like Bedoya just lost to
he's bad
on, which is like that's not a good look. I have no interest in betting this fight. It's just a weird fight to be on this card given everything else that's going on. Next up, women's strawweight division. Is this our first can't get a visa of the night? Victoria, probably. That's not a lady. That's a Dudakova taking on Sam Page Hughes.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Love it. It's
top 10.
I don't have much here. Dudakova, they are, I think, matching her up well for for what she has right now, and I guess maybe they think she can beat the Sam Page. Beats me. I don't care. I guess I'll pick Dudikova. Jesus, picking favorites.
Wes.
I mean, yeah, it looks like they're setting her up to win. Like, she should absolutely beat fucking Sam Hughes here. I think she's kind of short. I mean, -170, she's -162 at FanDuel. Like, I'm not saying lay that, but I mean, her decision price is close to even money. Like, I think she easily gets a 3-round decision here. I might have to take some of her by decision. It's Sam fucking Hughes, dude. Like, this is a very good matchup for her. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I looked at the matchup and I was like, oh, this is going to be, meat volley prices. And I might look at fading her because maybe Sam Hughes can grind out the grindiest shitty decision. And then I looked at the line and it's -170. Yeah.
A little short.
It does seem pretty short. I don't know that I'm going to get there as far as betting it. But yeah, that's seems weird for this spot. As far as non-religious fighters go, it's tough. All the Brazilians out.
Yep.
All of the Russians and Dagestanis
Out.
Most of the Americans.
Yep.
Like, I can't think of a specific example that's not. Well, I'll rack my brain throughout the show.
Did GSB ever talk about the Lord?
Oh, probably. He's French.
Yeah.
That's
Quebecois. They love their Roman Catholic
That's
bullshit
true.
there, right?
That's true.
So, isn't he from Saint Isidore?
He is. Yeah.
There's no way that town has more churches than people. Just outside of Montreal, I believe. Anyways, we'll see if we can get there. All the Georgians, they're out. Like Guram Kutaladze. That dude's religious as fuck. I just watched like 17 of them on the Georgian handball team or something like that.
Geez.
All those guys, the Georgians, they have a look. They certainly have a look to them. He's taken on short notice replacement. But this guy, I've watched him a couple times on the old Cage Warriors. Jordan Vucenic, good and also fun. This should actually be a good scrap. So.
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of more old school where they'd actually like sign good talent and exciting talent, and
yeah,
this is what we're in for. This dude better make it as a fighter because I'm not sure what else he can do with his life. He's kind of wrote that check and now he's cashing it. The dude seems good. He did fight mostly at featherweight. I know his last fight on Cage Georgia was lightweight, so I think he's smaller. But to the odds, he's pretty fucking good, man. He has a good pressure game. I'll be interested to see how good is it Vucenic looks in the UFC against Vucenic. It's gonna be interesting. He's getting a tough first fight. But I guess if he gets him in the door, then so be it. I'll pick Kutateladze to kind of grapple his way, and it'll be a fun fight, like you said.
Wesley.
Yeah, Kutateladze is huge win over Germont. I don't know. He's had some kind of problems since I think what was it, the Ismagulov fight? He like gassed hard in the third round, and it like was kind of shocking. Like, you never saw that guy gassing like that before. I know he gets caught by Brenner. Brenner's okay, I guess,
He was a minus 650 in that
Yep.
fight, and he kind of gassed out and did the same
He
sort of thing.
gassed again.
So it is concerning.
That's so in this fight, like I think you're right. He's probably gonna have some top game and be grappling, but this how you pronounce it again, Brad? Vucenic is I've seen a little bit of him on Cage Warriors too, man. He will roll for stuff and he'll make this scrambly. Like, is he gonna make Kutateladze work enough to tire him out in that third? Like, I think there's a chance here. I mean, the price for the over is like it's looking like they see a grindy decision here from Kutateladze, and I don't know, man. Fight doesn't go is like some plus money, and I think Vucenic, like he's probably gonna have to pull something off to win this fight, and I think he's gonna get plenty of opportunities because I think Gurum's gonna wrestle a lot. And how's that cardio going to hold up in the third round? He might be giving himself up some spots, a whole lot more spots for Vucenic to pull off. Dude's got a ton of subs over some decent guys over in Cage Warriors. So I'm going to pick Vucenic, man. I got to see Kutateladze win a fight that's going long, man, because he hasn't since that Gurmont win, and it's been a while. And we've seen a couple times now to where that gas tank just isn't holding up anymore. I didn't think the dude would. I thought he was a little older. He's still only 32, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna go fight it. Fight doesn't go. It's plus money, and I don't know if I'll bet Vucenic. I'm definitely gonna pick him at Top Master, but maybe him by sub or something. I don't know what that price is. I didn't even look at props on him, but him by sub's probably a decent price. That might be worth something small.
Plus 600.
Yeah, I might have
for
to
him by sub,
yeah.
and this is definitely a fight where it might be worth getting those extra 2.5 minutes and playing the doesn't go instead of the under 2.5 because if Kutateladze gasses, it could be it could be happening right around that mid third round.
Yeah, I think I'm on a similar page. You can tell that Vucenic is English because if he was actually like Croatian or wherever his family is from, it would be like Vucenic. Would be how you pronounce his name. So he goes with like the whitest pronunciation possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've watched him a lot. He's fun. He's gonna keep coming at you. If Guram has any struggles with his cardio at all, that is going to be a real problem for him in this fight. I mean, Vucenic or Vucen, whatever. Jordan was just training and just fought. It didn't go 5 rounds, but it was scheduled for 5 rounds. Most of his fights have been scheduled for 5 rounds lately. Like, he's going to have gas. So I'm kind of considering the round 2, round 3 props when those are widely available. Even at Bet Online, they're 12 and 14, and usually the numbers at the legals are way better than that. So we'll be taking a look at some Vucenic late round props in this one, and we'll hope that he doesn't just get smothered by a bigger guy. Heavyweight division. Almost t-shirt in the pool division. Close. We'll see after this fight if they can get there. Shamil, the Ghazi one, Gaziev, taking on Don't Ask, Don't Tell Maze. Shaun.
Don't tail.
Some good ones tonight. Fuck.
Gaziev just goes from headlining an Apex card to fucking buried on the prelims in Abu Dhabi. I guess at least he's going to Abu Dhabi, but yeah, they were trying to sell him as somebody who's good, and I mean, I got caught. I thought Rosenstruck is not very good, but he was able to withstand what Gaziev threw early, and that's really all you have to do and throw a bit of volume coming back. Don'Tale Mays has gone to over 2.5, 5 of his last 6 fights.
Love it.
If he survives early, I think this gets sloppy and gross, and it goes some minutes. Might be worth looking at some Don Tail and over 1.5 same game parlay. Maybe see if you can get some boost on that from what his money line is. But I think over 2.5 is definitely the main play, and then just kind of adding the overs in different ways.
Mick Parkin, take notes. This is how sloppy, slovenly heavyweights are supposed to fight. All right, none of that first round KO bullshit from last week. Wes.
Yeah, I mean, I give Mick one thing. He knew it was late. The bars were going to close soon. He like, I gotta get my drinking in.
Gotta get my boys back in line.
Yeah, this is getting sloppy and Gaziev here. I like the over 2.5 at plus money. I was hoping the 1.5 would be a little better. Maybe it is when it opens everywhere. I like Gaziev in this fight though. Like Dontel Mays is fucking horrible, man. Like he is very, very bad. I think Gaziev wins. I think he wins like a really shitty decision here. Gaziev by decision is like plus 250. I'm gonna have to take some of that. I like him in the fight. I like the over. So Gaziev decision plus 250, and we'll be taking some over.
Yeah, we're just gonna look at some fatties and some overs, super fatties maybe. We'll see what the full numbers are when they come out at all the books, and I've got some options or some more options for the 1.5s. Usually somebody's off by like 30 cents on those, so if I can get a minus 130 on over 1.5 here,
that's a banger.
That's all day. So that'll be what I'm looking at. I don't care who wins. Not even in the slightest.
Nor should you.
No.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Lightweight division up next. Kawhi Fernandez?
No.
No?
You're Brazilian?
Taking on Hani Yaya's little brother, Mo Yaya. Shaun?
Fucking Mo. Yeah, I really don't care. Neither of these guys are very good at all. Yaya is obviously getting this fight because he's from this area. So I'm assuming they kind of want him to win. So I will pick him. Even
I'll be honest, I didn't
plus
know
300.
I did not know that people were actually from Abu Dhabi. I thought it was just like old white businessmen that moved there to pretend like they were living the exotic life.
Well, I guess he's from Dubai, so that's a little bit different, is it not?
Fair. I mean, Dubai is one of those like super modern, businessy Middle Eastern cities as well, right?
Yep.
They're pretty much, I mean, they're not the same. They're the same like Manchester and London are the same, you know? Wes, what do we got here?
Wasn't Yaya the guy that Trevor Peak was doing like video game hammer stand-up hammer fist on? I think that was like you can't pick a guy that was getting like memed by Trevor Peak. You can't do it. I'm gonna pick the Hawaiian Brazilian here, but no bet on this fight whatsoever.
I don't remember having seen the Hawaiian Brazilian, so I got nothing here. I do remember seeing Yaya, and he did not impress. Shaun, you said he's plus 300 here?
Yes.
I feel like that is live for any time this fight goes 15 minutes. And like he lasted 15 against Trevor Peak, who was doing weird shit in there, and you know, maybe he can last again. Wouldn't be shocked at some skullduggery on the scorecards in this one. Light heavyweight division up next. Alonzo Menafield, Azamat Murzakanov. That dude definitely can't get a visa to get into the U.S. I know that shit. Shaun, thoughts?
Menafield's a moron. Obviously, we saw that last time against Elberg. But he can still throw hard. He's got good power. I don't think Murzakanov is very good at all. He never fights. He never fights, and he's 35 years old, which it's not a good combination. He's been losing. Like we should have got him. We should have got Teflon Don against him, but he pulled the rabbit on that one. And then I'm not really too impressed with the other guys that he's beat. Menafield throws a bomb and catches him. Let's hope. We need some violence on this card.
Apparently, Murzakanov can get a visa because he trains in New Jersey, and all of his fights so far have been in the U.S. So good for him.
So he's just shitty or gets hurt all the time, and that's why he doesn't fight.
Yeah. Wes.
Yeah, 35, barely fighting. Teflon was beating this guy, and he pulled some shit off. Devin Clark's him and Bobby Green hang out at the dumb shit bar together, so we know that one. Jacoby is who he is. I guess that was an okay win for.
Didn't he crack Jacoby pretty early in that fight, and then Jacoby was just sort of on autopilot? Or
and Jacoby was trying to just hold on to him a lot against the cage, and Murzakanov was just reversing him and shit. He's a better grappler than Jacoby, of course. Looked like Menafield walked into some shit in his last fight. Olberg is not bad that we've seen now. The guy will crack you and fucking hurt you. We've seen that plenty now. Before that, Menafield beat Jacoby. He beat old Jimmy Crude. He beat Serkinov. Menafield's got some decent wins lately outside of doing that dumb shit. I think he gets a KO here. That's sitting around plus 450. Brad had mentioned, before the show, I'm not even sure he's got to get a KO here. I agree with that too. Menafield can absolutely fucking grind on this guy. Menafield could get takedowns on Murzakanov. I like him as a dog here. Not a big bet, but man, there's some plus 175 sitting out there on Menafield. I think that's a decent spot. KO plus 450. I will have some of that as well, and hopefully Menafield just catches him early and quick and gets him out of there.
Yeah, the concern here is obviously Menafield walking into something, and for all of the stuff that he doesn't seem to be great at, Murzakanov does have power. That's for sure. He just sort of touches guys in weird ways, and they go down. That sounds weird, but it's a good way to describe fighting. So that's a concern. But if that doesn't happen, he doesn't have great pace. He doesn't have great grappling. He was struggling against a somewhat similarly built and sized guy in Teflon, who is slow as anything that you've ever seen. So Menafield's going to be faster than him here too. It's just there's the big time possibility of him just getting bonked, and that's all she wrote. But I think this line's a little too long. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit longer because, the undefeated record, and, he's got at least recognizable names on his resume. But I think the fact that it's not super, super long kind of shows that people are seeing some of the same things and some of the faults in Murzacanov's game. So might end up with a little bet on Menafield. Kind of want a slightly bigger price just because all the concern about the KO there. Main card time, lightweight division. Joel Alvarez, Elvis Brenner. This one should be fun. Shaun?
It should be. It's hard to get a read on Joel Alvarez just because he never fights. He's a once-a-year guy, whether that's his fault or the guys he's fighting's fault, but he just doesn't seem to fight. When he does fight, for the most part, he's good. Obviously, his only loss, recently in the UFC is against Armin. Elvis Brenner is a guy that I think his best attribute is his durability and his cardio. He does have some good grappling and some all right striking, but mostly he's winning these fights because, he takes what the other guys are throwing and he's still there and he just kind of wills his way into these fights. Against a guy that's probably not a bad thing to have against a guy that never seems to fight. I think Alvarez is obviously the more skilled fighter. If it gets done early, it's probably Alvarez. But Brenner's never been finished, so that's a tough one. I think I'm going to pick Elvis Brenner to kind of overcome, to survive early and overcome late.
Wes?
Yeah, man, I think Joel Alvarez is just too good here. I get the whole thing of him not fighting enough, but man, when he fights, holy shit, like he's fighting pretty good competition. Only lost lately is to Armin. That's perfectly fucking fine. I mean, Brenner just got fucking wrestle fucked by Broccoli Robbie. And then I know he got the win over Gurham, who we talked about earlier, but knocks out some old Brazilian before his loss last time. I just don't think Brenner's that good, man. The skill level here is just, the difference is crazy to me, but Shaun's right. The guy's durable. That's his best trait, and that's a very good trait in MMA. I just think Joe Alvarez is just way too dynamic. He's going to find something here, and I think he's going to get Brenner out of there. Maybe early, hopefully early, because the longer it goes, Shaun's right. That does put Brenner in the fight the longer it goes, but I don't think he's on Alvarez's level. I like Joe Alvarez here. Probably in a parlay piece, but I like him inside the distance as well. It's even money. I think he finds something sometime in the second. The under 2.5 is -150 at Bet365 or at FanDuel. I think I'm probably going to take a little bit of that too with the juice. So Joe Alvarez for me. I just think this is a different skill level. Don't want to see it go very long though.
I find this to be a tough one to read. I think that Wes is right about a lot of stuff. Alvarez being better and overall the more skilled fighter, in addition to being the more physical fighter. But man, we've seen Brenner eat some shit and just keep going through it. Does that end if he eats a massive knee up the middle from Alvarez and then dives into a guillotine or something like that? Who knows? I think there's enough question marks here where I don't really want to be taking a side. And then as far as the totals go, I lean under because it's a Joel Alvarez fight, but Brenner's never been finished. So, are we going to have to rely on Alvarez gassing and, quitting in round 2 or round 3 for that under to come through if he can't get Brenner out of there? Not really a risk that I'm willing to take. So just sit back, enjoy that one. I think the pick will be Alvarez, but not confident in it at all. Unlike the next fight, which is in the women's strawweight division. And we've got old Mackenzie Dern, divorced Dern, superpower for her, taking on Lupi Godinez. So last time out, Canadian loopy. But before that, there was like 3 or 4 times in a row where it was Mexican loopy. So are we due for like a couple Canadian loopies in a row here, Shaun?
I think we're in for a Canadian stretch.
Oh, the crippler crossface.
I'm somebody who's made some money going against Mackenzie Dern these last couple fights. I think the odds have kind of swung a bit too far on this one. Now, obviously, she opened like minus 175, and everybody, or a couple people at least, hit Godinez, and then she kind of stuck around plus money for a while, and now she keeps getting bet. I'm probably gonna have to jump on sooner than later because it might just keep going up. I think she's the better fighter. I don't think she's gonna get Godinez down, so it's gonna have to be striking or forcing Godinez to shoot, which she might do. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I know Dern doesn't have the great.
She shouldn't wrestle, so she probably will wrestle.
Yes, she goes full Canadian. She's going to wrestle, and then that's going to be good for Mackenzie Dern. Now Mackenzie Dern, the striking defense is not great, but she's tough, and I think she's got enough to take whatever Godinez has and throw back a bit more. So I'm going to be picking and probably betting Dern small.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, I hit 2 large wagers against Mackenzie Dern in her last 2 fights. But I think Shaun's spot on here. Like, this has just gone a little too far. She is like almost even money to Lupe here. Like, Mackenzie Dern's still a very good fighter. Like, she fights about the best chick she can around that division, especially the last 2 fights she's had. Look, Lupe's going to shoot her takedown here. She's going to shoot multiple takedown here. It's just what she does. It's going to happen, and it's going to go into Dern's world at some point. I would not be shocked if Dern pulls off some sort of sub in this fight. I think this is a great matchup for her. I saw this price, and it was just kind of surprising to me. So I like Dern here quite a bit. This is going to be a good bet for me. And what is her sub price? I didn't look that up earlier. Her sub is plus 250 now, and it's not even released everywhere. I'll be taking some Dern sub as well.
Yeah, I don't know who as a good fighter that Loopy has been competitive against that now she's even money against Mackenzie Dern, who's actually been in there against good fighters. Sometimes it goes her way, sometimes it doesn't.
Takes it, won't she? She will fucking take it.
Does.
Yeah, and that's not even a concern in this fight. So yeah, I could see, Dern sneaking in a takedown here or there, or if Loopy goes for one, getting a reversal. And I think if she gets on top, it's a whole lot, and not end of fight. People used to say that about her when she first came over to the UFC. Her BJJ, as far as MMA goes, is not on that level, but probably end of round. She's going to find her way to your back or something like that and hold on to position. So between that, the fact that I don't really rate Loopy's striking at all, and Dern oscillates between being like the clunkiest striker you've ever seen and someone who it actually looks like can put a combination together. So hopefully we get the combination version. But yeah, I think she's the more athletic fighter. She's got more skills and a couple more ways to win this fight. So gonna have a bet on the old Kenzie Dern in this one. Welterweight division. Mentioned some potential sadness. I mean, maybe this is just about perfect enough. Like when they rebooked Shogun and Lil Nog. And I was like, you know what? If they're going to have to fight, then like fight somebody that's as old and busted as you are. I don't think anybody's quite as old and busted as Tony Ferguson these days. But Michael Chiesa is probably about as close as you can get. So, Shaun, what do we got here?
I don't have too much in this fight. I don't think this is really playable in any which direction. Maybe Wes will sell me on something, but Chiesa by sub is like plus 125. Him by decision is plus 125. Like I Chiesa's got bad enough striking that when this is on the feet, Ferguson could probably win some minutes in this fight, but Chiesa's obviously going to shoot. This is at 170. Ferguson has been out grappled before, and unless he somehow fucking catches Chiesa, which when's the last time Tony Ferguson has caught anybody?
Well, I mean, he hasn't won a fight in
I know.
almost 5 years. So.
Right. So I'm going to take Chiesa. It's probably going to be boring, so maybe less sad, but it's still going to be just, why are we doing this?
Wes?
Yeah, it's crazy that Tony's lost 7 in a row after going on a 12-fight winning streak. It fell off, and just the train is at the bottom of the fucking ravine at this point. It's over. Yeah, man. Chiesa's gonna get Tony, but like, dude, his chin's gone. Chiesa, it's probably gonna get scrambly. Chiesa's gonna catch something, I think. I'm gonna play fight doesn't go. I'm gonna pray Tony fucking catches him, knocks him out. More than likely, it's gonna get to the mat multiple times, and Chiesa's gonna catch something on Tony. I think Chiesa could probably even hurt Tony with a flush shot, man. Like it's that bad at this point. So I know Chiesa inside is plus 110. Fight doesn't go is minus 125. I'm gonna pay the little bit of juice and get to cheer for Tony to hopefully catch him, but I don't think this fight makes 15 minutes.
So 2 of Chiesa's last 3 fights lost by Darce. Remember back in the day?
Get scrambly. Get
That's gotta be the
scrambly.
way.
That's what I'm saying, baby. Let's get scrambly. What's Tony's sub? That's got to be nuts. Oh, 800. Okay.
I was looking more at the I think if Chiesa shoots in round 1, he gets a takedown. After that, this is a guy that he's been sitting at a desk. He hasn't really been putting in the training. Now he's got to go deal with some desert heat in his return from retirement. If Tony can make it to round 2, then that shot's going to be a whole lot more labored, and that's when we're going to see the Darce get wrapped up. I'm not even like a Tony fan. I wasn't one of the dude, like he was fun to watch during his prime, but not one of the dudes that was like, oh, he's definitely going to beat Khabib. Like that's the fight we need to make. But you know, I like watching old guys win, and Tony is older as far as fight years than Chiesa is. So I guess that means I would like to see Tony win this one. So maybe we'll do some like a dumb round 2 sub bet or something like that.
2,200.
Yeah, I see some big numbers out there when you get to those round props. So Tony, do it. Finally, finish him off. He wants to be retired, and you don't.
You definitely don't.
You want anything but to be retired. Next up, we get to one good one, then a little detour, and then back to another good one. Bantamweight division, Marlon Chito Vera taking on the former flyweight champion of the world, Figgy Pop. Shaun?
I like Figgy here. You know, obviously it is concerning at the lower weight classes to be 36 years old. That is never a thing that's going to really help you in any way. I just think he's got a pretty big grappling advantage against Marlon Vera. Figueiredo's been grappling a decent amount more since moving up to bantamweight, and he's had some pretty good success. And obviously, he still throws those hammers. Vera, obviously, one of the most durable UFC fighters ever, but it's still not great to be taking as big of ass whooping as he did from Sean O'Malley. That was just in March. I know he didn't get knocked out, but fuck, he got hit with baseball bats multiple times that night. He's never been finished. This might be the opportunity against a hard hitter in Figgy and somebody who can grapple and maybe tire him out. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be a decision. So I got 2 units on Figgy at -140.
Wesley.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Figgy finally made the decision to move up, and we're probably going to get maybe another couple years of some decent Figgy. I know Shaun's right about even 135, 145, like this age, but Figgy's not like necessarily kind of any old in fight years or anything. Like he hadn't fought a ton. He's never been in like brawls or nothing. Like he fought Moreno like 17 times and they just wrestled each other a bunch. So, but man, him moving up, like the hand speed he showed against even Cody, even Garbrandt, like we know Cody's Cody now, but you know, he still has the hands that Figgy looked good. Figgy took him down when he wanted, like, this fight goes where Figgy wants it to go. And I think he's better in both of those realms than Vera at this point. Vera looked very old and slow at 31 years old last time out against Shaun O'Malley. Imagine what Figgy is going to look, even at 36 years old, the speed difference we're going to see here. I like Figgy quite a bit in this fight. -140 is a little juicy, but that's perfectly fine. And I think it's probably 15 minutes. Vera is just tough as shit regardless. I'm not sure Figgy's catching him clean and knocking him out. I don't really see that against Vera. So his decision is plus money at FanDuel, +105 right now. So I don't think that's too bad a price for Figgy decision, but I like him in the spot.
Yeah, for me, I don't think you need to go decision with the money line this low.
Yeah.
I think there's still -140 at Caesars if you can get there, which I can and I will, because yeah, Vera just looked like an absolute statue against O'Malley, and that was a combination of like speed and range. Obviously, Figgy doesn't have the range that O'Malley has, but he's got just as much speed, I think. More diverse game, not in terms of just his striking, but he can mix in takedowns as well. Vera doesn't defend takedowns. He like half-ass goes for a guillotine and then ends up on his back every time. So yeah, Figgy, as you said, it goes where he wants it to go. When it's on the feet, he's got an advantage in terms of speed. I think he's got an advantage in terms of power for whatever that means against Cheeto. And like if Cheeto tries to turn up the pressure and starts to overwhelm him with volume, which if he can even do that anymore, I'm not sure. But if he does end up doing that, I think he just ends up on his back in this fight. So I like Figgy. I'm going to take some money line, and that will be that. Yeah, we haven't missed anything yet. Middleweight division, the dumbest division. This one is a confirmed no visa. Never. Not gonna happen.
He was just over here though. Like, how'd this motherfucker get over in the country? Like, he was just over at like fucking hockey games and shit or something. Like after his
he
fight.
can get here. They just won't let him fight with that fucking eye he's got.
Where did he fight last time? Where was his fight last time? Wasn't it over here?
It was. It was at the
Apex,
Alaskarov.
Oh, okay.
So that was no, that was in Saudi Arabia because that was supposed to be Whitaker versus
he's
Chimaev
over here because the one before that was
Abu Dhabi
and Makachev.
He didn't just do a short notice fight on a fight.
No. Oh, he did. He fought short notice, but it was in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, was it? Okay, my bad. I thought that was over here. My bad.
Or
Or
he's
the fuck-
like
No,
he's
that's a
related
fight
to
night.
that dude that had Hunter's laptop.
No, he fought on a
Besides-
fight night card. Was that an Abu Dhabi fight
It
night card?
was. It was
Oh,
UFC on
shit.
ABC. It was the last ABC
That
card.
was the-
Whitaker was supposed
Oh.
to fight Chimaev. That was
Yeah,
only like
okay.
a couple weeks ago.
Speaking of guys who can't get visas,
Hey,
Oh, I'm never get me out of the country with a brain like that.
Shaun, what's going on? Yeah, the shitty bullets taking on the Candyman, Michał.
I bet the Candyman against fucking Kevin Holland, and of course donated money there. Nobody said that Mikey O was a genius fighter, but he's fighting a guy that got taken down 3 times by Bruno Silva. So this fight's gonna be on the feet. And on the feet, Mikey O's pretty fucking good. The leg kicks are the thing that worried me. This Shitmadov is gonna do some calf kicks and stuff like that, and that's probably gonna slow down Mikey O. But the hand speed, I think the just overall boxing is gonna be way better. I think Shitmadov is not very good, so I'm trying to cash in on this fade. I think it happens on Saturday. I took Mikey O at plus 240 for 2.5 units.
Oh shit.
Let's go.
Wes, I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't have to Google Translate this, but one could describe the Candyman's fight IQ as just a Zipuswaru. Urinal cake.
There we go. Well, the one good thing is I don't think it's going to take a lot of fight IQ in this fight against this one-eyed motherfucker. Look, we know where the Candyman has problems. He gets into a gunfight, how he wants to go, and then he fucking gets taken down or falls into some dumb takedown and gets fucking choked out. Like that's been his problem. Going back fucking 4 or 5 fights now. He ain't got to worry about that here. Like this dude is going to stand up and try to throw hands with old Mikey O. And guess what? Mikey O's the better fucking striker. He's got more power. He's got better hands. He's going to get a matchup that's good for him. And he's fucking over 2-1 against this guy. Dude just fought 5 weeks ago. Like, how much training is he getting in, traveling like this, fucking planning for another fight? I don't get the hype. That's the main thing. I really don't get the hype. Like, I thought he's looked kind of bad in some fights already. And now he's getting a guy that has got some very good hands and some really good power. We're going to take the Candyman. I like him a whole lot in this fight too. I don't know about 2.5 units liking him, but I like him in this spot. I think we're gonna see another hype train get derailed.
Yeah, it just seems like a great spot to fade a hype train. Because, he beat up James Bond creator Arthur Broccoli or whatever that dude's name is. That means absolutely nothing. And as you said, it's a matchup where Candyman gets the kind of fight that the Candyman wants. You step into that yard and that dude's going to rip some body shots. Some of the best inside body work in MMA. Overall, just the cleaner striker than this dude who mostly on the regional circuit just landed weird early stuff and got guys out of there in no time flat. And honestly hasn't really been in many fights. But he is going to be in a fight on Saturday against a guy who, as Wes said, better striker. And I don't know that there is a backup plan there at all. I don't think he can grapple. He was lucky to get out from under Bruno Silva a couple times in that fight, or else he would have lost that one already. But that didn't happen. We wouldn't be getting this price right now, and we wouldn't be making the Candyman the consensus bet of the week.
Let's go.
Shaun, you said
200.
200?
On it.
Perfect. There we go. There are some better lines out there if you'd like to shop around a little bit, but we like to be generous here on the podcast. Not that fraud shit. Main event time, bantamweight division, excellent fight. Umar Nurmagomedov, undefeated. With he's done some things to impress, unlike the shitty bullet. Taking on Corey Sandhagen. Shaun, what do we got?
So obviously this is a big step up for Umar, but I think that's not really his fault. It seems like some of these guys don't really want to fight him for good reason. He seems like he's very good. He's obviously not invincible. We saw him get cracked a bit against the random guy last time, but save for that second, he absolutely dominated that fight. Couldn't get that guy out of there, but for the most part, he's subbing a lot of these guys. I think he's going to have a pretty big grappling advantage over Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen's obviously taken down the guys who have pretty poor takedown defense the last couple fights out, but we're only 3 fights away from him getting taken down by Song Yadong. Umar is obviously a much better grappler. This is a big step up. Sandhagen had the balls to take this fight. He is a very crafty guy. I'm guessing Umar is going to get this win. This line just keeps ballooning. It's tough not to sprinkle on Corey Sandhagen when he's plus 250, just because I think he is that good. But the pick's going to be Umar. I haven't decided if I want to waste some money betting Corey Sandhagen.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, he's the real. But this is going to be by far the best guy he's ever faced. By far, it's not even close. This is a massive step up. I mean, Hani's good. I don't think that was a insane performance by Umar, but we didn't even get to see a actual fight in that one per se. But, I mean, look, Sandhagen's takedown defense is pretty good at this point, mainly because how he fights. He's got to keep this up in point fight. That's his path here. He's not gonna grapple with Umar. Umar's gonna be on top of him if this hits the mat. I mean, maybe he can pull something off. He's got some scrambly shit, but this has got to be a stand-up kickboxing point fight for Corey Sandhagen. Can he get 3 of those rounds? Man, this is creeping up. This might, by the time they parlay Umar by Saturday, that you might see plus 300 on Corey Sandhagen. And look, that's something I have to play. Umar might wrestle himself to a decision here. That's probably what's going to happen. But if Sandhagen keeps ballooning, I'm taking plus 250, but I'm going to wait. I think you could see plus 300 here. They're going to parlay Umar, and that's not horrible. You're getting Umar right now at minus 300. If you think he's the guy he is, and he's got his path here, that's a perfectly fine parlay piece. I just think it's a little big, in my opinion, because I think Sandhagen has got a path here as well. Sandhagen decision is plus 650 right now. That's probably going to get a little bit better. So I'm going to wait on both of those, and that's what I'll be playing on this fight. I think Sandhagen has a chance to keep this up for a few rounds of this fight. We've seen him do that against wrestlers in the past, and his style just plays that well to that. So that's what we need. That's what I'm betting. Sandhagen, dog money.
Yeah, I get the case for it. I could see this going his way in one of 2 ways. One, they either just kind of settle into that distance karate striking match. They can just kind of go tit for tat, and I think that doesn't necessarily favor Sandhagen, but that's a pretty even fight. Or 2, he's been a lot more willing to wrestle offensively which I think if he has to constantly defend takedowns in this fight, he's kind of fucked. He'll probably defend most of them, but he's going to get taken down. He's going to spend time getting back up, being held against the cage, all that sort of stuff, which isn't going to bode well for him on the cards. But if he can actually be a little bit aggressive when the grappling is happening and try to initiate some takedowns of his own, I think he might be able to spring that on Umar a little bit, because not a lot of guys try that. He doesn't shoot your traditional takedown. Like Sandhagen doesn't shoot your traditional takedowns just because he's a big, tall goof. So he's got lots of weird like outside trips and stuff when he's wrestling, which those are good things to catch a guy off guard who isn't expecting you to grapple. But really, he just needs to make sure that he is dictating the pace and place of the fight, if you will. If he just backs up against the cage and lets Umar shoot on him whenever he wants, it's not going to go well for Sandhagen. So keep the distance. If it does get close, be aggressive in your grappling. And even if you don't get takedowns, that's probably going to force the distance again, just from Umar defending those takedowns. So can see it for Sandhagen, but I don't really see it. I think that Umar is going to pull out a decision here, because there's going to be too many periods where he can just do what he wants to a Sandhagen that's backing up, trying to avoid getting wrestled. So Umar decision. Wesley, I'm not betting it though, so I wish you all the luck in your bet. Shaun, did you bet it too?
Nope, not yet.
There you go.
What's Umar decision?
I don't know, probably like minus 300.
It's plus 115.
Plus 115.
It's not bad. I don't hate like the over either. Fight goes, I think it goes 25 either which way, honestly.
Yeah. If it's over early. I don't think this is going to be like an attritional round 3-4 stoppage kind of thing. I think it's going to have to be, Sandhagen landing a flying knee, or Umar just gets in there and can clip him real early, or absolutely dominate on the ground. But I mean, nobody's done that to Sandhagen except for Aljo, and I think those days are well behind him. So kind of like the over here. I wouldn't hate that. If I am looking to parlay, which I rarely do these days, that would be the type of thing that I might throw in there. Anything else that we need to go over? We've got other combat sports. The Olympic boxing is happening. There's all sorts of weird right-wingers being weird.
We're going to make money off of it. And we're going to make a lot of money off of it.
Yes, we are. And hopefully we make money this weekend. Hopefully you make money this weekend. We'll see you back next week, maybe, if there's a card.